I thought that YouTubers and press would help me increase my wish list, but I was completely wrong. This is pretty much what I hear from my clients all the time. So for example, I'm helping a small indie game dev who got featured on 80 level, had a streamer with 9 million followers play his game, and that streamer's VOD got over 21,000 views, and then he had a Reddit post that went viral with 600,000 views, and yet they only have under 2,000 wish lists and very few sales at launch. So how is this possible? And don't get me wrong, this strategy of getting a lot of buzz from press and content creators does work, but only if you're a big studio. It works because bigger studios have more reach and have more resources to consistently get their game in front of players. And they do this by pumping money and time into making sure, that momentum never stops. But if you're a small indie game studio, your resources and your reach can only go so far. And yeah, you'll get a spike in attention and then that momentum stops. And then because, your resources are low, it's hard to replicate that attention again. So let me explain the issue in more detail and then I'll show you how to fix this issue. So I have 3 arguments why small indie game devs shouldn't use this strategy. So argument number 1 is inconsistent and easy to lose momentum. So if you ever had a YouTuber, play your game, you'll get a spike in Steam page visits and a spike in wish lists. But that peak doesn't, stay there, right? It drops down really fast and there is no, growth after. It's just a flat line. And yeah, it's possible that maybe another content creator, finds your game or you get more press and your momentum continues. But what often happens is that peak drops and then your growth line, stays flat. And then you get a bit of anxiety because you don't want to lose that momentum. And then your hope fades that other press and content creators will find you. So then you decide, to get back out there and find another YouTuber or a streamer or game journalist to get, that another spike in wish list and keep that momentum going. But as a small indie game dev without a big following, it's easy to lose that momentum because getting featured by, press or content creators once or twice or even 3 times isn't enough. And this is why they say in branding, you got to get a person to see your stuff at least 7 times. But as a small indie game studio, branding isn't a good marketing strategy, not yet at least, because when you're this small, branding doesn't help a small indie game studio get off the ground. And I'll explain how to get your, studio off the ground and get consistent growth soon. But first, let's move on to argument number 2, and that is their audience isn't your audience. So the reason why this strategy is inconsistent for small indie game devs is because a content creator's audience is not there for you. So remember, that VOD that got over 21,000 views? It didn't get all those views because that indie game itself, right? The indie game didn't draw that crowd. The crowd was there because of the streamer's, personality and their ability to entertain. So once that VOD was over, so was that interest for that game. And what happens is that streamer's audience, just moved on and they're basically waiting for that streamer's next live stream or VOD. And yes, some of that audience went to that dev's Steam page and wishlist that game and they saw a spike in their wishlist numbers because of it. But there was no growth because that's not the nature of online content. With online content, you're only as good as your last video or article or your post, because if you stop, then the algo won't feature you and the algo favors new videos or content over old stuff. And because, new content is often shown more than old, the chances of other people seeing that VOD months after it was published is very slim. It's possible, but the algo always favors new content. And that's why there's no growth after being featured by a big YouTuber or streamer or the press, because that algo pushes, new content more than old. And once that, new content becomes old, less people see it. And so, momentum stops and so does the growth. So basically, if you want consistent growth, you need to consistently be seen and heard by your audience. If you rely on other content creators' audience, you'll only have that audience for one video or story. And once that video or story is old, then the momentum stops because their audience moved on. So this leads me to argument number 3, and that is, you may win attention, but it's not valuable attention. So most people you attract through press and content creators have no interest in your game, and the ones that you do happen to attract will probably be low quality. And this is why you often hear about small indie game devs, their postmortem, where they, did manage to hit that magical number of 10,000 wish lists, yet their launch was still a financial, failure. Because what happened is those 10,000 wish lists, failed to convert into sales because those people never had any interest in that game anyway. And yeah, at that moment, when that person saw that game on that, on their favorite YouTuber's channel, they had interest, they were excited, and they, impulsively went to the Steam page and wishlisted the game. Then, fast forward 3 to 4 months later, that person who impulsively wishlisted that game will look at their wish list and then see that game, and then they'll forget why or when they wishlisted that game in the first place. So, and think about it yourself. How many games do you have on your own wish list that you forgot about, that you wishlisted, and let alone why you liked the game in the first place? So if you do happen to win any attention through this strategy, it won't be valuable attention because your wish list will be full of low quality potential customers. And that's because when that potential customer saw your game on, some YouTube video or streamer's video, it was an impulse decision. And it wasn't a decision based on liking you and your game. It was based on because they liked the YouTuber or the streamer or the game journalist. Again, if you're a big game studio and you have fans and you have a lot of momentum, then yes, this is a good strategy. But if you're a small indie game dev and you have very little traction or no fans and you're just trying to get off the ground, then this strategy is inconsistent because you're not really attracting your core audience. Okay, so what's the answer? How do you fix this issue? So a better strategy is to figure out who your target player is, find out where they hang out, and then reach out to them. So let me show you exactly how to do that next. So how to get high quality, consistent wishlist growth. So look, everybody wants to have a game like Undertale or Stardew Valley where, attention just keeps growing and momentum keeps growing and you have to do very little marketing or sales. And everybody wants, maximum growth with as little effort as possible. There's life hacks, productivity protocols, simple 3-step formulas, right? But don't ever underestimate how hard it is to start from scratch with no fans, no customers, and a game nobody has heard before. It's like a rocket. To get off the ground, it uses up 80% of its fuel. Same with a business. The only way to get maximum growth is through maximum effort. And yes, this means spending hours and hours talking to potential customers, building relationships, slowly growing your Discord or your Steam community hub. And yes, this is tedious. And yes, there is a chance that you might even fail after all this effort, and no, results won't be quick and easy, and you will have to spend 80% of your time trying to get your game off the ground. But the only way for true, stable, consistent growth is you can't rely on other people to build your wish list for you. You have to figure this out yourself. And yeah, I'll give you the framework that worked for me when I, built my first startup. And now I use this framework to help my clients. But consistent hard work, patience, and not giving up is the only way to grow your wish list and maintain that growth. And remember, there is more supply than demand for small indie games. You're competing with hundreds and thousands of other games for attention. And yeah, once in a while, an Undertale shows up. But for 98% of the rest of us, this means we have to go out there, we have to put in some effort to find those customers. So here's exactly what to do. So here's your challenge to start learning how to find players and start building your own audience. All right, if you made it this far, you're a badass. And if you're serious about growing your wish list and getting your game studio off the ground, then you got to start burning 80% of that fuel. So here's what to do. Okay, what's your game's genre? So go find a subreddit for it. Then find a recent post and go into the comments. Then find a user and right-click their name and send them a chat or a DM request. And then ask them, hey, I'm making, put your genre here. Do you mind checking it out and giving me your thoughts? Here's the Steam link. And then commit to sending out 3 of these a day and keep a spreadsheet of all the users you had a conversation with, because when you update your game or have new content, then you can send them another message telling them about your updates. And don't be afraid to ask, hey, if this game is your jam, then join my Discord or check out my Steam community hub for more updates. So what I want you to look for is that you're trying to discover your game's biggest appeal that resonates with players. Because once you discover that appeal, you can use it in your marketing to find even more players. So that's your challenge. And I promise that once you start talking to potential customers like this, you will slowly build your audience. And yeah, it's slow, it's tedious, rejection sucks, but there's no shortcuts in business. If you want to grow, you need to put in the max amount of effort to get, the max amount of growth. And if you want me to grow your wish list, then click the link below. But I highly recommend that you do this yourself, because learning how to find customers is a skill as important as art, code, and writing, because you can't have a game studio without customers. Okay, that's it, my friend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and good luck with your game dev and growing your wish list with high quality potential customers so that your game will be a financial success. All right, my name is Dariusz. Talk to you later. Bye.